I now call the meeting of the Code Enforcement Board to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Board hearing. When addressing the board, please state your name, address, and speak clearly into the microphone. If you are planning to speak during the hearing, you must have signed in. Presentations by the county respondents and opposition must be kept to a maximum of 10 minutes each. The board may recess at 12:30 p.m. and reconvene at 1:30 p.m. to conclude business if necessary. The basic proceeding for the hearing is as follows. Your case will be announced. Ms. Meyer will conduct the oath of witness. Staff will present the evidence in your case. You will be allowed to rebut the evidence and explain what it has occurred. I will close the hearing. The board will deliberate, make a motion, vote, and then I will announce a decision. The board may ask questions and allow other witness testimony if necessary. If the board issues an order, you're come into compliance. It is your responsibility to call and leave a message requesting inspection of your confirmed compliance. If you fail to call for an inspection, or if you've called and an inspector found that you have not complied, you will receive a notice by mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest the findings of non-compliance. Otherwise, it'll be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. If you have any questions, these rules are outlined in Hillsborough County Code of Ordinances and Laws, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14. Any person who decides to appeal a decision of the Code Enforcement Board will need a record of the proceeding. The record is comprised of testimony and evidence on which your appeal is based. It is your responsibility to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceeding is made. By law, you have 30 days from the date of the order to appeal the decision. Before we begin, please silence all electronic devices. Roll call, please.
Good morning, Bordenara.
Here.
Boyd.
Here. Here.
Razia. Mr. Razia. Could you please unmute?
Here.
Thank you. Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Lorenzen.
Present.
Urbaniak.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay. I have read and approved the minutes of the meeting of the Code Enforcement Magistrate, February 12th, 2020. I will now need a motion to approve the minutes of the Code Enforcement Board for September 25th, 2020.
Mr. Bordenaro, I move to approve the minutes of September 25th, 2020.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Can we now have the oath?
All county staff who will be testifying must take the oath of witness. Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Is on page 1 of the agenda, number 1, CE 2000-4828. The owner is Ralston Beach Mobile Home Court, LLC, location 6817 North Havana Avenue, Lot 7, We have service, and Paul Commingore is signed on to testify virtually.
Good morning.
And, if I can get Mr.
Morning.
Commingore on the screen to do the oath of witness.
Can you see me?
Please stand by.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, please stand by.
Can you hear me?
You can, go ahead.
I can, yes, hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your name and address.
Paul Commingore. Corporate address is 1971 West Lumsden, Suite 340, Brandon, 33511.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Okay, officer.
John
morning.
Carey on Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. May it please the board. Property in question is located at 6817 North Havana Avenue, Tampa, Florida 33614. Property is owned by Ralston Beach Mobile Home Court, LLC. Property was first inspected April 8th, 2020. The initial inspection revealed one violation, which consisted of nuisance conditions due to defective septic tanks. Compliance was achieved April 15, 2020. Said property has previously been in violation of numerous occasions for the same condition of defective septic tanks as cited under nuisance conditions on the following previous cases. CE 1901-4082, inspected September 2019, complied October 2019. CE 1900-2437, inspected February 2019, complied March 2019. CE 1801-6181, inspected September 2018, complied October 2018. CE 1800-8643, inspected May 2018, complied June 2018. And finally, CE 1701-9943, inspected November 2017, complied December 2017. Due to the repeated number of occasions said property has been found to be in violation for nuisance conditions in relation to defective septic tanks, I am respectfully requesting this board grant or remain in compliance.
Has the condition been come into compliance already? Are they in
Thank you, Chairman.
compliance?
The current condition is in compliance. However, due to the number of times that the property has been found to be in violation previously, I am requesting a remaining compliance order be granted today.
Okay. Members of the board, do you have any questions? All right, I'll need a motion.
I'll make,
I'm happy to make, go ahead.
is it for me to go? Sorry.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I move in the case of CE 20004828 and the owner Ralston Beach Mobile Home Court, LLC, that based on the evidence presented, I find that the property was in violation of Hillsborough County Code of Ordinance as presented. Further, I find that the property is now in compliance with this code provision in order that it remain in compliance with this code provision.
Second by Lorenzen.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, sir, you've been ordered to remain in compliance. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
We will do so.
All right, next case, please.
Next case is number 2, case number CE 2000-15641. I'm sorry, 200-15641. The owner is Scar Export and Import. Location 2915 Irene Street. We have service. We have several people here in the audience and one person signed in virtually. And I will need the people who are here to come forward to the podium right now. And the person who is signed in virtually, I will need to give him the oath as well. Okay, good morning. Will all of you be testifying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need you all to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And I need each of you to state your name and address.
My name is Kimberly Raw. I live at 2915 Irene Street. That's Lutz, Florida, 33559.
And what is your relationship to this case?
I'm the tenant.
Okay,
I live there. My
I
daughter, my son-in-law live there.
thank you. And will the other people state their name and address for the record?
Morning. Last name Ra, first name Rashada.
And the same address? Okay, and
Good morning. My name is Marquis Harrelson, and I also stay at 2915 Irene. I'm her son-in-law.
thank you. Can we get the person who is online virtually? Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name and address.
Juan Skinner, 268 Morrison Road, Brandon, Florida.
Your last name?
Skinner,
And what is your relationship to the case? Are you the property owner?
yes.
Thank you. And the officer will now present his case.
Joshua Steen, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I first inspected the property located at 2915 Irene Street in Lutz, Florida, 33559 on October 15th, 2020. At the time of the inspection, the property was tenant occupied, not foreclosure. On inspection, I observed that the property had no potable water service. The electrical service only worked in half of the dwelling, which is a mobile home type dwelling. There was exposed electrical wiring. There is no water supply on the property. The water that's coming into the property right now is supplied by a neighbor. There's a garden hose that connects to the neighbor's adjacent property well pump. And roofs and parts thereof, there's a tarp across the roof and the dwelling leaks on the inside. And then interior floors and walls, as you can see, the wall is missing and covered with plastic beneath the HVAC system in the
Okay, who are we hearing from next? Who's first?
Does the property owner
Do we have somebody up there?
testify first?
I believe Mr. Skinner.
Mr. Skinner, go ahead.
Yes, I just, it's no problem getting all that fixed. I just need access to the property, to be able to do it. I've tried to contact her a few times and I haven't gotten a return phone call to come out, do the repairs. And I actually showed up, on the 3rd, fixed the wall and the water, which I did fix the water issue, but they wouldn't let me in the house to, check the electrical, to be able to fix that, to be able to plug their water pump for their property to their pump for their property. And it did work when I showed them it worked, but they weren't interested in letting me hook it up. And I was like, I need to go in the house and check, it's actually in the master bedroom, and check the breakers, and they wouldn't let me do that. And they have, Ms. Raw has her son-in-law and her daughter living there, which are not on a lease, and the place is only a 1-bedroom, 300 square foot home. And she keeps telling me they're moving out, and they won't go.
Okay,
they're supposed to be there.
The lease problem you're going to have to take up in civil court. If they allow you to come in to fix whatever needs to be fixed, how long would that take?
I need a couple weeks, a month.
Okay.
Get everything up to date.
Okay. Let me hear from the tenant, the one that's on the lease.
Yes, good morning.
Go ahead.
As far as not allowing Mr. Skinner into the home to fix things, I'm sorry, but that's false. I have a letter here to give to whomever I need to give it to, dated August 24th, 2020, stating that I have been there almost 3 years and constantly asking for these things that you mentioned to be repaired. As far as not letting Mr. Skinner into the home the day when the water had gone out, is because he tried to get into the Tico box where my electrical box is outside, and he was gonna create an outlet off of that. And I told him, no, that is wrong. That meter's in my name. I'm responsible for that. So he wanted to go into the home and take off the breaker box unit and get into that and cross wire or do however he was gonna hook it up. And I refused to allow him to do that because of the big hole that had been in the wall for over a month prior to me giving him the 30-day notice of these things need to be attended to or we're gonna have some serious problems. And I've been living in a hole 5 foot by 5.5 feet. And every time I walk by this plastic, I can see the ground.
Okay, ma'am, how is he supposed to repair it if you won't let him do it?
He's been in several times, Your Honor. That's why there's a hole in the wall, because the air conditioning was leaking. I told him for a year. He came in finally to fix it because the wall was coming down, and he tore a big hole in the wall and he said it needed to dry. I understood that. We put my fan on it, plastic was over it. He never came back until rent was due the next month. And that by that time, the house next door, they had us plugged up into because our electricity was no good. And I also have that in the letter that it was not proper. We needed repairs that he promised to do when I first moved in. I create another hole in the wall. Rats, I can't.
Okay, did you advise him you were moving out?
No, I did not, sir, and he did not ask me to move.
Okay. Are your daughter and son-in-law on the lease?
We no longer have a lease, sir. They never gave me another lease after the first year. They just came and took the rent. Now we're on a month to month. And his response to fixing things was to give me a 30-day notice to vacate the premises. I also have that. 30-day notice, November 30th. It came in certified mail. He gave me two. One is for you and one is for me. I also have a letter from my neighbor who's had to help me several times to receive water.
Okay. Do either your other witnesses have anything other to say than what you've already said?
Thank you, Mom. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. My name is Marquis Harrelson. I'm her son-in-law. Basically, what he's saying about the maintenance and stuff around the house, me personally, I do maintenance myself. I have different certifications in electrical, plumbing, you name it. So when it comes down to things being fixed around the house, he can't say that nobody didn't let him inside the house. That is a complete story. I'm just being honest with you. I've told him consecutive times since my mother-in-law moved in, I will help him fix the things. I've helped him fix the water pump, and we don't even have a pump on our house. We're using the pump next door. And the sad part about it is I told him that's not right and that you need to fix that. And I told him, since I have the skills, you get the parts and I'll help you get it done with nothing to charge. I never asked him for any money, never, none of that whatsoever. And for him to actually sit here and say nobody let him inside the house, no offense, Your Honor, but I know electrical, and I know you can't just rip a breaker box out the wall and then try to install a receptacle into that breaker box just so you can run the well pump through the house, in through a wall inside our house. And I check electrical, I have a multimeter, everything. And how the electrical is set up in the house, you got a 220 going to a 120. You got a 120 hooked up to a 220. And for somebody to say that he has this experience and he can fix things, he doesn't even have the proof or certifications to prove that he can fix these things. So we done had these issues over 3 years, and no, I'm just tired of him taking advantage of my mother-in-law. As soon as she said she was within her rights to hold the rent, and she gave him the note, now all of a sudden he wants to give her a 30-day notice, and he tries to say that me and her daughter-in-law, my fiance, was not on the lease. We were on the lease. He knew about all three of us moving in, and he approved it, and he let it happen. So don't, in my eyes, please don't lie to the court. A lot of people basically trying to make it seem like that's not what it was really going on. We know what's really going on.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the only thing I really can say.
All right, I understand. Okay.
Sir, can I speak? Sir, can I speak?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I wasn't gonna rip no breaker box out of the wall and hook it straight up. I needed to go in the master bedroom to check the breakers and to do the troubleshooting on electrical, and they wouldn't allow me to do that. And second of all, they were never on the lease, and I noticed them around the property a lot. So I asked her, I asked Ms. Rue, do they live there? And for a while, she told me, no, they don't live here. I finally found out from the neighbors that they do live there. And I was like, hey, come on, be honest with me. Do they live there or not? Yeah, they're just here for a little bit until he gets on his feet and they can get their own place. And it just went on and on. Yeah, they'll be out here soon. They'll be out here soon. It's been like that. And it finally escalated to about a month ago when their water pump went out. And they called me on a Friday at 6:30. And Marquise got on the phone demanding that I would go over there and fix it right now, there in that moment. I said, I can't, I have my son with me. And he's like, oh, I don't care, load your son in the car and get over here right now to fix it because we don't have no water. I said, Marquise, even if I went over there now, it's 6:30, I can't, I wouldn't be able to buy parts if I needed to. So
Okay.
I showed up there that next morning on Saturday because I was already scheduled to come there anyways to fix that wall. And I was ready to fix the wall, and I did fix the water pump. But when I confronted with her about they need to go or I'm going to terminate your lease, that's when all this started right now. This whole mess right now, where they called you guys and
Sir, let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you. Do you have a copy of that lease? Did you bring it with you?
I had a management company doing the lease, and they were the ones that were doing the property management. And Ms. Rue was telling me, oh, Juan, don't use them no more. You can just I'll pay you the rent directly, and you don't have to pay them no more. And me being because they were giving her that leasing company I was using was giving her a hard time about Marquise and her being there, and her daughter being there. So she was like, wanted me to get rid of them and just bypass them and go straight to me for the rent. And I was like, all right, I'll do that, but I need them out of there. That's only legally, 3 people cannot live in a 1-bedroom, 300 square foot home.
Okay.
But on and on, they never left. And,
all right, sir, I'm going to interrupt you again because this has gone on. We're saying the same thing over and over and over again. Okay. You guys are going to have to try and get together and come up with a time, a situation. I don't know what you need to do as far as removing them. Say you have a lease, but you didn't produce a lease. Members of the board, do you have questions for this gentleman?
I do.
Go ahead.
And actually, I apologize. I have a question for the tenant, if I may.
Certainly.
Is the tenant there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir.
Ma'am, thank you for your testimony. You had testified that you're a month-to-month tenant and that you've received a notice and that tenancy is being terminated as of, I believe you said November 30th. Is that right?
Sir.
Are you planning on vacating the property by November 30th?
Sir, I'm doing the best I can. I'm 65 on a fixed income. I have gracefully paid my rent on time every month for almost 3 years. He's never had a problem.
Okay, so is that
I don't have water, still don't have water.
But you're
doing the best I can to get the heck up out of there. I can't deal with this anymore. I've been in the hospital with a stroke behind this. I've had enough.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, she has not paid her rent. She's been late on the rent a few times, and she didn't pay last month's rent either, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other board members have any questions?
I do.
Okay. Go ahead.
For the owner, are you certified to do any of these repairs?
I'm most of those stuff is a handyman type stuff. I was gonna inspect the electrical, see if it's something minor I could do, maybe like a breaker or a bad outlet, just stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Not that I would.
Okay, Mr. Fitzpatrick, I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
As I understand it, if you're on a month-to-month lease, that either party with a written notice can end the month-to-month. Is that true?
It requires a 15-day notice to be given within 15 days before the next rental payment would normally be due. So a 30-day, should do it. So and that's kind of where I was getting at. It sounds like she said she's a month-to-month tenant. There's been a notice given. It looks to me like this case may be headed for eviction court. If it pleases the board, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Go right ahead, sir.
I move in case number CE 200-15641 that based on the evidence presented, I find that the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions being taken by the violator and the violator's history, that I grant 30 days to come into compliance, and if compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $250 per day be assessed.
Second, by Lorenzen.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Did someone oppose? Okay, motion carries. All right, sir. You have 30 days to make the repairs, and you also have the option of taking this to civil court since you made the proper notice and have her evicted, which might solve your problem if nobody's in the house. We're on to the next case.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 2, number 4, case number CE 2000-6779. Violator is Nation Star Mortgage LLC, location 2615 Hancock Lane. We have service and someone is signed in virtually. Jason Silver is signed in virtually. And I will need him to take the oath.
Hello, I'm right here.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And state your name and address.
My name's Jason Silver. I'm an attorney here in the state of Florida. I'm at the law firm of Green Spoon Martyr, and my office is in Fort Lauderdale at 100 West Cypress Creek Road, Suite 700, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33309.
Thank you, and I apologize. I didn't realize you were the attorney. I didn't need to give you the oath. Okay,
That's
and the
fine.
officer will now
Double safety
give his
there.
testimony.
Good morning, Jim Carr, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property in question is located at 2615 Hancock Lane, Valrico, Florida. It is the current owner listed as James R. Wright Jr. According to the neighbors and the homeowners association's management company, they had stated to me that he had passed away in June 2000 after a very long hospital stay in the VA hospital. This property is vacant and it is in foreclosure. The violator listed is Nation Star Mortgage, LLC, doing business as Champion Mortgage. They are the mortgagee and the plaintiff of the foreclosure case on this property. So Hillsborough County Ordinance 0959 as amended applies to this case. This property was first inspected on May 8, 2020. The violation is failure to maintain a foreclosure property by allowing extremely hazardous public nuisances to remain on the property. The only condition that's remaining is the unsanitary pool. This property is located within a 1-mile radius of a school and several school bus stops. And I conducted my last inspection yesterday, and the photos were taken on October 15th.
Okay, counselor.
Yes, good morning. Jason Silver again for the record. I have seen those pictures, and I emailed the county earlier this week with some information from our perspective and position, and I can report for the record here that the pool is still in that condition, but my client has undertaken and completed the order process to cure the issue. They have ordered the appropriate cover. They've been to the property. They've been maintaining the property otherwise, the lawn, etc. They indicated to me it should be about 1 more week before the cover is put on. So I would ask the court, I'm sorry, the court, I would ask the county to give us 21 days to 30 days to get that pool cover on. I know my client's aware of the risks related to this pool. My records did not indicate the property was vacant. I'll go back and tell my client that it was occupied at the time of service of the foreclosure complaint. So just so the county knows, the foreclosure complaint is still underway, and my client does not yet have ownership or title. There's been no sale from the foreclosure, and the delay, unfortunately, has been due to the pandemic and a bankruptcy that was filed earlier. But once all the holds end, we're going to push forward. But that's not the primary issue today. I can tell you that I expect within 10 days to 2 weeks, the cover should be on. And this hopefully will be resolved and ready for another inspection. And hopefully the case can be closed. And I appreciate the county's time.
Okay. We can't allow a pool to stay that way for 10, 20 days. They do have shock. Something's going to have to be done to where that water is clear. If a child falls in, we need to be able to see that child that fell in. So whatever options you may have to take to clear that up, before that cover's put on it, you're probably going to have to do. To the board, any questions for this gentleman?
No questions, but I'm prepared to make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I move in case CE 200067779 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as listed in the staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 3 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $500 per day be assessed.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I missed the number of days it cut out.
3 days.
3 days.
$500.
Thank you. Do it second by who?
I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Counselor, you have 3 days to get the green out of the pool and do whatever you need to do, but maintain the pool is clear and you can get it covered.
And just for the record, there's 2 questions.
Yes.
Is that 3 business days? Obviously, today's Friday.
Nope, 3 days, not
3 normal
business days.
Okay. And,
Yes, sir.
and if that fine is ordered, can that be subject to mitigation after compliance? I mean, I know that's, I could look up, but that's just a general question.
There is a process. You'll just have to look it up.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
There is
I
a
will,
process.
I'll convey this to my client and the county's concern about the pool status, and hopefully we'll get it to match. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Next case, please.
Turn to page 3, number 6, case number CE 2000-9269. The owner is Kevin L. Green and Gina Ann Green, location 3305 Shippey Place. We have service and we have people signed in here. If you're here for this case, come forward. Raise your right hand. Any one of you who will be testifying, raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
And each of you state your name and address.
Kevin Green, 3305 Shippey Place, Dover, Florida, 33527.
Gina Green, 3305 Shippey Place. I just noticed 3305 Shippey Place, Dover, Florida. And the other gentleman?
Good morning, John Scanlon, 611 Sandy Creek Drive, Brandon, Florida, 33511.
And are you here, who are you representing?
Mr. Green, I'm his private investigator.
Okay, thank you. And the officer will now present their case.
Mr. Cozen, I believe you signed up for this case.
That is correct. Can you hear me?
Who's here virtually? Can you bring it on the screen?
Yes, my name is Richard Kosan, Kosan. I represent the adjacent landowners, Ron and Sharon Shippey.
Okay, and your address for the records?
Yes, ma'am, I apologize. It's my office address is 213 Providence Road, Brandon, Florida, 33511.
You.
Good morning. Terry Converse, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I'm here just to give a perspective on the history of this case, and then Steve Saucier is going to testify to the case itself. This property in particular has had numerous complaints by the adjacent neighbors, the Shippies, who are represented by counsel. And every case so far has had something to do with property maintenance related to the property. In this particular instance, there is a fence zoning violation that we originally did not cite because in our opinion, the structure did not meet the definition of a fence, but the neighbors complained to Development Services, took it to Development Services, and they ruled that the structure that you'll see is indeed a fence, although it's 6.5 feet from the property line. In our, again, by definition, it doesn't meet the definition of a fence, but the officer and the property owners will testify to that. As you can see from the picture, that is the structure that we're talking about. It was put up and to block light from the buildings on the adjacent structure or adjacent property because the lighting that was focused on the property was intense, that the other witnesses will testify to that in just a moment. It's enough historical.
Stephen Saucier, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property is zoned RSC2. The inspections began on June 17th of this year. The manager Converse was stating that there was a complaint that was came into the county, and that's where we came up with where we're at right now. As you can see in the photographs, there's part of that fence right there in that photograph that you're looking at right there. You have that issue right there with the fence, but then the item here with the tarp, that's what's for determination in front of you.
Okay, I'm a little confused here. We're not talking about the actual fence. We're talking about the blue poles with the tarps on them.
Correct.
That's correct? Okay. All right. Who wishes to speak first?
My wife and I have lived on our property now for 35 years, been married for 39 years. Little brief history, I'll try not to be too long, but whenever we rented our little home, it was an older couple, Mr. and Miss West, owned the property. Their son and daughter-in-law and their 2 children lived next door to us. They were going to sell their home and build a house behind their mother and father, take care of them as they got older. Well, Shippey bought it. And then about 6 years later, we've been in our little home and had a little girl, 4 or 5 years old. I don't know how old she was, but had little pet chickens and little goats and stuff. The West, Mr. and Mrs. West came to us and told us that the property was getting too much for them to handle, that they were going to sell it, and that the Shippies wanted to purchase it, but they felt that it only fair that they give us first dibs on it. And of course, we bought it. And Mr. Shippey is he's a very vindictive, very controlling, just, I don't know. And the guys tried to run me off our property for 35 years. He told me about 20 years ago, he says, "Why don't you sell me your place?" And I said, "I don't want to sell my property, man. I'll give you $30,000 for it." I said, "We paid 36, Ron." He says, "I'll own your property one day, mark my word." He's got tractors that he runs all the time and stuff. Anyway, getting to the issue at hand, there's pictures that I sent in, I believe that some of the members have, along with a letter. Y'all have those? PDF file?
They were provided to code enforcement.
No, I sent them to you. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. There you can see, in picture one, you can see at the peak of the garage, there's no light there. Where the two gray circles are at, that is where I put up the cedar. The cedar to block those lights out. And number two, you can see the lights I'm talking about, the lights on each corners of the garage. On picture three, you can see the picture of the top, which was later installed. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And the back of the garage, these are aimed at my home. Can that scroll up just a little bit? Or, no, yeah, it was, I'm sorry. It was back at the, what's this? I don't know what's going on. Well, I thought they had them all on, whoa, okay. I only got 10 minutes, man. Everything's scrambling now. Can you, whenever you scroll up the other way, down, please. I didn't sleep a wink last night. Hold up just there. And when I put the cedar up, he turned the lights off. The light at the peak of the garage was not on. And then the light on the corner of their home, you can see that. And if you'll scroll up one more picture there, please. One more. Okay, and their back porch, all right? That is what, after I blocked the lights off on the corners of the garage and the back of the garage off, then they turned on all these lights and the picture number 4 there, the light of the corner. And if you scroll, yes, sir, the house. And then if you scroll down to picture number 6, this is what I had to put up because when I came out of my kitchen door, this is what I saw, okay? Now you would think that I blocked the lights out in the front with a cedar. He turns those off, then he puts the lights on his back porch and the corner of this house aimed at our home. And I did that. And I told my wife, I said, God, when is this going to end, man? And he's got to have the last jab. This guy, I've told him, I said, Ron, you don't leave me alone, and I don't care what their attorney's got to say. There ain't no way to spin this. It's not trying to get y'all to believe what I want you to believe. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. If you go up to the next 2 pictures, he had lights installed on the rental property next door to us that he had bought, and the picture number 8, and then the house, hold up just there, and then in front of us where you could see the light at the peak of the garage. Now this is a rental home next door to us. Look at the light that's on that garage that he had installed after we've lived in our property for 35 years to get the last jab. I have not retaliated against the guy. This is a rental home. And then if you go to number 10, and I'm not talking kind of, okay, whenever the tenant goes out of town, he has him leave all the lights on in the house. And as you can see in picture number 9 and 11, I'm almost done here. That's the front of our property. Whenever I put up the tarps, which I called Terry Converse up, and I asked him, what could I do? And he says, go a minimum of 5 feet from the fence and no taller than 15 feet tall, which I did. In the next few pictures, you can see what I sent these pictures maybe to 13 as well, please. And yep, and you can see how it's 6.5 feet from the fence. It's 12 feet tall. This is to block the lights that are coming right at me. And, you know, the shippies want to complain, oh, it's a nuisance to us and stuff like that. Well, buddy, leave me alone. I mean, you know, this is our home, which was once peaceful. And I think 15, I'm just about done. I know I was up all night last night. And there it is there. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I know that when I put the cedar up, I was given the okay by Pfeiffer, Andy Pfeiffer, and then I went and I spoke with Ron Spiller in person, showed him pictures. I was good to go. Everything was fine. The shippy son-in-law, this might sound like I'm being delusional, and I'm not. I'm just telling you something doesn't seem right. And they went to Tom Hisney, and he said that the cedar was a fence. That's been resolved or whatever. And when I sent the pictures of the tarp there to Mr. Converse, and I know my mind's going in 1,000 directions, man, this shippy has, and I've also been going to a therapist. This guy has screwed me up, man, like a CIA interrogation prison camp. And anyway, I did exactly what I was told that I could do. You can see it there. I can drive my pickup truck underneath it. And I think picture 16, it might show me I'm 6'6", maybe the next one there. I'm standing underneath it. If anybody can show me a fence, if it was down on the ground and closing something, it's a shield. It's a light shield to keep from getting blinded. It is not a doggone fence. And, but they said it was a fence again. And here I am. And I'm hoping and praying to God Almighty in heaven that y'all see things for what they are and what this man has put me through. And, you know, say that that's not a fence. It's not a fence. I mean, anyway, thanks for putting up with me. I'm sorry if I rambled.
Okay, sir. Is any of
Attorney
the
has to say if he's.
Yeah, I need to hear from some other witnesses. Did you bring witnesses for you?
Could you repeat that?
I'm looking for witnesses to the owner that I just spoke to. Does he have witnesses?
Yes.
Do they have anything to say other than what you have told us?
Yes, I do. Good morning.
Okay.
How's everyone this morning? My name is John Scanlon. I'm a private investigator. When I was retained for this case, thought it was going to be a simple case, something, you know, simple annoyance. Maybe one neighbor thought a light was bothering him just a little bit too much. When I got there and I seen the intensity of these lights and walked around Mr. Green's property several times, and I've been out there unbeknownst to Mr. Green as well to make sure Mr. Green's story was accurate. When I walked around his property, I became light blind from time to time. It's the same thing if you're driving and you're facing the sun, you put down your visor to block the sun so you can see. You know, it's a shame that someone has to be put under this type of assault, and that's what I can call it. It's an assault, a psychological assault on Mr. Green. Because I'll tell you something, if I was to go up and try to strike someone, they would put up their hand to block that strike from that assault. And that's what Mr. Green is doing. He put up a visor, same thing you would do in your car to put it down to block himself from the light. Mr. Green has a right to expect privacy on his property, and this is an intrusion by his neighbor, nothing short of that. So I believe Mr. Green is in his right to defend himself, put up some type of barrier or shield, whatever you may call it, to give him some peace on his own property. And that's all I have to say about it.
Okay. Ma'am, do you have anything different to say?
It's pretty much the same thing, but it's very brief. It's because of the lights from the neighbor being intrusive onto our property with ultra bright lights and motion sensors. At one time that was actually aimed at our house, and when you would walk by it at night, it would switch to ultra bright and it became a tripping hazard, basically. Kevin has complied with all the county regulations every step of the way, trying to block these lights out. The stress and negative energy that has been building over the years has made this once peaceful yard / home that we live in seem more like a prison than a sanctuary. We are asking that our right to enjoy our property free from light pollution and intrusion be protected. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other witnesses?
If it's okay with y'all, I want to just, whenever they said that the shippies, I'm not talking about his case, am I?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay. Just want to show a couple of pictures here of, how do I do, hold this under here?
What are we doing here?
There you go. That's the front of our property. As you can see, it's kind of peaceful, I think. My animals are buried on our property, and you know, anyway, that's the front of the house. This is looking out at the front yard, and you can see all the circles there. The back of the garage, the peak of the garage, the front of the garage, his back porch, and the corner of the house. I mean, our lives have been hell, buddy, sir, Your Honor. And I've told him multiple times, I said, Brian, you don't like me, man, for whatever the reason is, because I worked with the Allman Brothers and you retired from the railroad. I don't know what's your idea of, but I'm a good, honest man. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. And he won't do it, man. If his attorney wasn't up on that screen right now and Shippy was here, you would look into his eyes, and as soon as a few words come out of his mouth, you'd see exactly what I'm talking about.
Sir,
Okay.
do you have a mask? Because, we all
Yes.
supposed to be wearing a mask in here?
I'm sorry. I got COPD.
Do we have an attorney that's going to speak?
I believe we have Mr. Kassan.
Yes, I'm here on behalf of the Shippies, but not on behalf of the Greens.
Okay. So.
Did you want me to speak now? I'm just trying to.
No, I don't want you to speak now. I thought they had an attorney. I do have
Okay,
some
thank you, sir.
questions. You're welcome. I do have some questions for the officer. Is he available there?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You say this is 15 feet from the property line. We've seen him walk under it, etc. If he was hanging clothes from that, would that be in violation? I mean, I'm not looking at a solid fence or anything.
The accessory structure is approximately 6.5 feet from the property line.
Okay.
As far as the structure itself, just on the photographs, there's the posts coming out of the ground. There is no cross member on the bottom, and there's a tarp span stretching between the posts with a rope. And that's where that's the condition of the accessory structure at this point. As far as the tarp material, it's just the barrier as being was described. And as far your question, I was unable to understand it. Is you were telling me the distance?
My question is, here's my question: if that structure was built and they were hanging clothes from that structure, would we even be here?
No.
We would not be
If
here.
a clothesline is somebody's private property, we would not be here.
Okay, so if he's got things hanging off of what could be hung off of, should we be here?
I understand what you're trying to say, and if you're framing it to where it's not a violation, I agree with you.
Okay, members of the board, we need to, do y'all have any questions for this side, and then we'll get to the other side?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
For code enforcement, are there no codes with regard to the lighting or the amount of lighting or the brightness? Is there standards that we need to know about for neighborhoods?
We have two other cases that are going to be heard, and those are in regards to lighting. Customarily, residential lighting is not something that we enforce, and those other two cases we'll be discussing after this one.
I have a question for the code enforcement officer. Sir, am I understanding it correctly? Is it your testimony that this is not a violation?
From our point of view in code enforcement, we have discussed it on our end, and it does not appear to be. It is an accessory structure, but not a fence as being defined by other entities.
With that answer, if there are no further questions, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Certainly. Go ahead.
The violation that we're addressing is a fence zoning violation, but we keep talking about an accessory structure. I understand you're prepared to make a motion. I'm just trying to clarify if it's a fence zoning violation that we're dealing with and not an accessory structure issue we're dealing with. Is this landowner going to be back in front of us at a future date regarding a accessory structure?
This is Manager Pisano. Code enforcement initially called it an accessory structure. Development services, who we rely on interpretations for issuing permits and what they designate certain things to be, called it a fence. So the ruling is from the agency that we rely on for interpretation of the land development code as well as property maintenance code. They are deemed this thing a fence.
Thank you.
Okay, are you still ready to make your motion, sir?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I move in case number CE.
Excuse me, do I get a chance to respond?
Wait a minute. If you need to respond, go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, if it is an accessory structure, there's been no permits for that. If it is a fence, it is not compliance with Hillsborough County's fencing codes. To take issue with some of the things that Mr. Green said, the lights that have been installed by the Shippies have been installed pursuant to permits that were pulled by the electrician that pulled them. Those lights have been inspected by code enforcement, and as you will see in the two hearings that follow, those lights are in compliance. They are directed down at the ground. They are not directed at the Green's property. In order to be a nuisance for the lights, the test to be applied is the effect of the condition complained of on ordinary persons.
Sir, I need to interrupt you. What we're talking about right now, the only thing we're talking about right now is that a fence zoning violation? Nothing else. Okay? We'll get to the other two. Right now, that's all we're dealing with. Okay?
Okay, well, the fence, yes, sir. The installed does not comply with the county codes, and there's no permits pulled for it if it is an accessory structure. It does, there's no way that would meet wind requirements or wind loads, and the testimony provided by the private investigator is in no way is he an expert on the types of things that he testified to. The structure was apparently installed in order to block lights from my client's property.
Let me interrupt you one more time. This board is dealing with fence zoning violation only at this case. We are not dealing with accessory structure. We're not dealing with permits for accessory structures. We are dealing with fence zoning violations. Do you have anything to add to the fence zoning violation?
Yes, Hillsborough County departments have determined that it's a fence and that it is not in compliance with the code. So we would request that there be an order that the structure be removed.
Okay. Mr. Fitzpatrick, are you ready to make your motion?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I move in case number CE 2009269 that this case be dismissed.
I second that motion. Lorenzen.
Okay, we have a motion to dismiss and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion is carried. All right, let's move on to the next case.
Okay, next case is the relating properties to this case, and also anyone in the audience, the masks are required and they are required to be worn properly over the nose and the mouth. The next case is number 7, case number CE 2000-9270. The owner is Ronald Lee Shippey and Sharon Ann Shippey, location 3302 Shippey Place. We have service. And I believe the same parties are all here for this case.
Okay.
I apologize. It's 9270, Susan. Last one,
Yes, 9270.
Stephen Saucer, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This property is located at 3302 Shippey Place, zone RC2. Again, this case also is stemming from the previous case. There was lighting around the structure and accessory structures on this parcel that were aimed or pointed towards the property previously mentioned in the other case. And as of the last inspections, the lights have been directed in a downward direction now. They're no longer pointing at the other neighbor's property. And we are just here for an order.
Okay, so they're in compliance. You just need to remain in compliance order. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anybody else that needs to speak? Okay, we need a motion.
I'm prepared.
Go ahead.
I move in case number CE 20009270 that based on the evidence presented, I find that the property was in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as presented. Further, I find that the property is now in compliance with this code provision in order that it remain in compliance with this code provision.
Second.
By Mr. Lorenzo.
Is that for me, sir?
All in favor? Excuse me?
May I address the board?
Well, we're in the middle of voting. I asked if anybody had anything.
And I responded, but apparently you didn't hear me, so I apologize for that.
Okay, go ahead. You got a minute. Go ahead.
All right. Well, first of all, the lights were installed. They were not in violation. We conducted an inspection immediately, and they're under the Hillsborough County Code for a commercial property adjacent to a residential structure. It allows for up to one light candle power, and that was never at the property line. These lights did not ever violate. We further adjusted them downward so that there would be even less light shining. They're standard dusk to dawn motion detector lights, and they come on for 10 minutes, then they go off. We do not agree that there was ever a violation. And like I said, we called immediately and had requested inspection, and the inspection shows that that they are not in violation now, and they were not in violation before. So we would object to that order and just ask for the case to be dismissed because there has never been a violation in this matter.
Okay, to the code officer, was there a violation?
There was a violation and it was complied.
Okay.
There was never any light readings taken. There was never any indication that there was any non-compliance other than the complaint filed by Mr. Green, and we contend that there was never any violation. We were told that they were not in violation, and as of the last inspection, and we were not informed they were going to ask for a remain in compliance order, and we request that this matter be dismissed.
Okay. All right. Back to the motion.
Yep. Based on the evidence presented, I restate my prior motion made, which is a remain in compliance order.
And my second stands for Lorenzen.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Opposed? Motion carries. You're ordered to stay in compliance. If you're in compliance, stay in compliance. Don't worry about it. Next case, please.
Next case is number 8, case number CE 20009272. The owners Ronald L. Shimpey, Sharon A. Shimpey, location 3313 Shimpey Place. We have service.
Stephen Sauce, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property is at 3313 Shippey Place, residential, single family, conventional 2, RSC 2. This parcel is adjacent to the other two cases that we just heard, and it was for the lighting as well. It was in violation and is now in compliance, and we're just here for an order.
Okay, board, do you have any questions? Somebody like to make a motion?
Can I respond again?
Certainly, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to make the same objections. This matter was never in violation. There were never any readings taken of any of the amount of light that was next to, adjacent to the property line. There was never any indication that there was any violation other than the complaint by Mr. Green. There is no county code dealing with lights between two residential properties. The code that was cited by the county has 8 different nuisance conditions that are listed in the code, and that's abandoned wells, shafts, basements, excavations, unclean swimming pools or spas, ice boxes, refrigerators, and motor vehicles. That's number 1. Number 2 is structurally unsound fences or structures. Number 3 is unsecured commercial structures, dwellings, or dwelling units. Number 4 is lumber, trash, or debris, which may prove a hazard for inquisitive minors. Number 5 is unsanitary conditions or anything offensive to the senses or dangerous to health, including but not limited to the emission of odors, sewage, human waste, liquids, gases, dust, smoke, vibration, noise, or whatever may render air, food, or drink detrimental to the health of human beings. Number 6 is physical conditions, including but not limited to old, dilapidated, abandoned scrap or metal, paper, building materials and equipment, bottles, glass, appliances, furniture, rubber, motor vehicles, and parts thereof. Number 7 is physical conditions posing fire hazards. And number 8 is physical conditions posing a hazard, including but not limited to dead or damaged trees. Clearly, light does not come under any of those 8 provisions. There is an additional provision under the nuisance condition, which talks about other nuisances that may be according to law. According the law of nuisances in the state of Florida is clear. Apologize for find my notes. In the case of Beckman versus Marshall, which is 85 Southern 2nd 552, was a 1956 case from the Florida Supreme Court, which is still good law today. It says the test to be applied is the effect of the condition complained of on ordinary persons with a reasonable disposition and ordinary health and possessing the average and normal sensibilities. It is well settled principle of law that the test is not what the effect of the matters complained of would be on persons of delicate or dainty habits of living, or fanciful or fastidious taste, or on persons who are delicate or invalids afflicted with disease, bodily ills, or abnormal physical condition, or on persons who are of nervous temperament, or peculiarly sensitive to annoyance or disturbance of the character complained of, or on persons who use their land for purposes which require exceptional freedom from deleterious influences. In this case, that is not what happened. These were standard dusted-on lights that can be purchased at any home improvement store. They were installed by an electrician. They were properly installed. They were installed according to permit. The Hillsborough County Code, Article 6, Part 6.10.00, exterior lighting, and Section 6.10.02, General Standards, Paragraph A, provides in part that illumination values of the property line of a project, and that's referring to a commercial project, shall not be more than 1.0 foot candles at any point when the project is located next to any residential use or residentially zoned property. The lights in this case never exceeded that 1.0 foot candle illumination. And that's the Hillsborough County Code only talks about illumination between a commercial property and a residential property. This doesn't even meet the standards of a commercial property. It's less than that. So the reality is that these lights were never in violation, and in an abundance of caution, they were further directed straight down into the ground to eliminate as much as possible the any inconvenience to Mr. Green and his and what he feels is improper lighting. The lights that he shows you in his pictures in the previous hearing were interior lights that were shining through windows. Those are in no way nuisance lights. They weren't even the lights that were complained of in the allegations of violation. The lights complained of, like I said, were standard dusted on lights that came on for 10 minutes at standard regular illumination. They did not exceed the foot candle illumination standards even for a commercial building, and were never in violation. And for that matter, we would request that the violations be dismissed, as well as the previous hearing. The same arguments I would have made then, or that I make now, are the ones that I would have made for the prior hearing. And I apologize that my muting did not unmute. So I think in this case that there was never a violation. In an attempt to address Mr. Green's sensibilities, the lights were further directed down, and the code enforcement says that there is no violation. So we would request respectfully that this matter be dismissed.
Okay.
Question?
Go ahead.
For the code officer, can you verify that there was a violation prior to this request for remaining compliance?
Based on the information that we have at our office, there was information that was submitted to us by the private investigator for the Green family. And as far as specific numbers, I have them right here. The light that was intruding onto the Green property, I have 3 different readings. I'll read them out to you. One of them was 18,025 lumens. Another reading was 1,000 lumens, and then a third reading was 480 lumens. So those are the readings that were gathered by the private investigator for the Green family, and they submitted that paperwork to our department. As far as the specific violation of the nuisance condition, I will read to you the description that they were given when they were cited with the notice of violation. Nothing shall be placed, constructed, or maintained that would in any way constitute a nuisance to adjacent property owners, residents, or to the community. Light shining into the yard at 3305 Shippey Place are disruptive and a nuisance to the home occupants. Remove the lights or direct off of the Green's property. That is the specific verbiage that that the Shippies were informed of on the notice of violation when the case began. So that is where we are at with the specific numbers. That's the specific violation that they were informed of. Yeah, and if we look back onto one of Susan, if you could go back to the very first slide, but I believe for this case, okay. There's a slide in the PowerPoints to where Ms. Green is standing in front of her home at nighttime at 8:30 at night. It may be in the previous case also because all the cases intertwined. And this one photo was taken at 8:30 at night, 69 Carmine, I believe, or one of the two. Yeah, it's either. Yeah. That photograph right there, that was taken at 8:33 at night. And that's the light that was coming on to their property at 3305 from the Shippey property, which is adjacent to them.
Do we know what
and that
date
was at 8:30 at night?
Could you repeat that?
Photograph right there was taken at approximately 8:30 at night. This is the front of the Green property, the 3305 Shippey Place. And this is the light that was coming on over onto their property from the Shippey property next door, adjacent to it.
Mr. Lorenzen, did that answer your question?
It does, and I'm prepared to make a motion if there aren't any further questions.
May I respond to that testimony, please?
No, because I have one thing to say. What time was this taken? What date, time? The photograph.
June 17th this year,
At what
8:33 hours, or 8:33 at night PM.
So it would have been dark outside.
It was nighttime, yes.
Okay.
On June 17th, June 21st is the longest day of the year, and dusk is after 8:30 on that particular date. There's no way that, and if you look at the sky behind it, that is not that was not dark. I would object to the testimony of the lumens. The lumens described by the Code Enforcement Board is provided by a third party. It's hearsay, even if the court or the Code Board would choose to accept that. But those are the types of lumens that come from the sun. There's no light that is that bright that is installed on this particular property. It's absolutely not the case. More importantly, Code Enforcement never went out and took any measurements. They never went out when it was dark. That 8:30 on June 17th, frankly, is not dark. It is well before sunset on that particular day. As I said, June 21st is the longest day of the year. So the testimony provided by Code Enforcement that there was any violation is solely coming from Mr. Green. And as Mr. Green told you in his testimony in the prior hearing, there is bad blood between the two parties. It is frankly not credible that there was 18,000 lumens of light coming from two standard store-bought home improvement lights. It's just frankly not credible. The fact that Code Enforcement never did an inspection when we requested them to come out and do an inspection, when they did come out and took the pictures that they've presented as far as my client's lighting, we asked them to come out at 9 o'clock at night. They refused to do that, said they would come out in the afternoon, and they came out at 4:30 because we wanted them to see that there was not the type of lighting that was being provided. So the testimony from Code Enforcement that there was a violation is just frankly not believable and is based upon hearsay testimony from another party that is just frankly not believable. So again, we would request that this matter be dismissed.
Sir, do you know what time it was dark? You know what time it was dark on that date?
I just actually looked it up. He is right. The sun did set later. I just looked it up. June 17th, it set around 9.
Okay. All right. Back to
the chair. I'm prepared to make a motion.
Go right ahead.
I move in case CE 2009272 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property was in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed staff's presentation. Further, I find the property now is in compliance with this code provision, and I order it that it remain in compliance with this code provision.
Seconded by Fitzpatrick.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, just make sure the lights don't go over into their property, sir. That's all I can tell you.
Well, I think that's not a proper resolution because the lights are standard lights and they are there. And the fact that your own board members stated that the photograph that they're relying on for showing that it was improper illumination was clearly before the sunset. So that lighting that you see in that photograph is clearly not from the lights of my client's property.
That was one case when I was stating a fact, but we did see other photos in which the lights were clearly protruding onto his property and causing an issue. So.
But there was never any testimony by Code Enforcement that there was
Counselor, I'm going to interrupt.
The board has ruled, and this case
the board has ruled
over. We'll move on to the next case now.
You can appeal it, sir, if you like to. Next case.
This case is on page 4, number 9, case number CE 2000-1611. The owner is Church of God of Prophecy Trustees, location 11607 Grovewood Avenue, we have service, and Scott Gillum is signed on virtually. And if I could get Mr. Gillum on the screen for the oath of witness. Right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
State your name and address.
My name is Scott Gillum. My office address is 6001 Monarch Boulevard, Leesburg, Florida, 34748.
What's your relation to this case?
I am the presiding bishop for the Churches of God of Prophecy and speak on behalf of the corporate board of our organization.
Thank you. Sister will present their first there.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Rowan with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case began back on February 4th of this year with a joint inspection through the fire marshal's office. This church is not in use. It is closed up. There are several exterior violations that I was able to get into. I did not get into an interior violation. The fire marshal's office did. Basically the building is in fairly sad shape. As you see, there's several exterior wall violations. There's protective coating violations. The building has been determined that it needs to be taken down. I've had several discussions with Bishop Gillum, and he has advised me that the building is going to be demolished. As you saw in the photos, there's a cargo container there. They're in the process of moving things out, and just under the time frames, we did not get the building taken down prior to having to bring it to the board. And I would ask that sufficient time be given to them at your discretion to complete that final stage. The building is sealed. There are no people living in it. It is not being used. I don't think there are life safety issues at this point. Thank you.
Okay, Bishop.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Rowan and board. The information that's been shared with you is certainly correct. And we would have had this building demolished by this date, but our company, Sheffield Structures, determined that as they were applying for their permit to demo, that there were some asbestos issues. We had to then have the asbestos company come in. I think their name might not matter. Gallagher Bassett Technical Services came in and determined there were asbestos issues. We then contracted with an asbestos removal company, EE&G. Chris Arnold is his name, and he's the project manager. And they are scheduled to begin asbestos removal on November the 2nd. After that removal is complete, our demo company, Sheffield Structures, will reapply for a permit, providing the necessary information regarding the removal of the asbestos, which should allow the permit to be demoed without any issues whatsoever. All of the contents have been removed and placed in the structure, and as Mr. Rowan said, there's no one using the facility at this point.
How much time do you need, sir?
That part I did discuss with Sheffield, and it would be completely dependent upon If they complete the asbestos removal on the 2nd, then he would receive documentation that it had been removed. He then takes that documentation and applies for the permit. And once that permit is received, he would move very quickly after that. So it would be dependent upon how quickly the permit is granted. I mean, for me, I would think 15 days, but I certainly wouldn't want to be in 15 days at a place like this because the permit had been held up for some reason, or Sheffield had some COVID issues and could not get to have the building demoed. I'll be glad to communicate directly
Members of the
with
board,
Mr.
do you have any questions?
No, I'll make a
Members of the
motion.
board? Go ahead.
I move in case number CE 200001611, the Church of God of Prophecy trustees, that based on the evidence provided, I find that the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in the staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 60 days to come into compliance, and if compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $100 a day be assessed.
Second by Lorenzo.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. 60 days, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Cohen, for your assistance.
Okay, next case, please.
Turn to page 5, number 12, case number CE 2000-3286. The owner is RESI SFR Sub LLC, location 4902 Town and Country Boulevard. We have service, and someone is here for this case. Good morning. Good morning. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
State your name and address.
My name is Katrina Kos. Our business address is 1008 North Florida Avenue, Tampa, Florida 33602.
And you are here representing the property owner?
Yes, the bank.
The bank?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Code Enforcement Officer Raquel Andujar. My first inspection of the property was April 21st of this year. My last inspection was yesterday, 10/29. I'm sorry, 10/29, yes. Contact has been made with the property preservation, and work was just started at the property. So there's actually a contractor at the property. They're making repairs. So I'll let her speak on that.
So the majority of everything has been done. Next week, they're supposed to be finishing everything. The back 2 utility rooms, one is a bathroom where the mold is, has actually been removed.
She's trying to show her pictures.
Oh, can I do? So the framing has actually, all the drywall has been removed in all those rooms. And then I think one of the violations was removed, but that has also been completed as well, is making it into one instead of two.
That is correct. So excessive dwellings is canceled. The reason being the property is RSC9, and that is something that is approved now depending on the square footage of the lot. So therefore, it's no longer a violation.
Is the primary structure setback still a violation?
Could you repeat that, sir?
Primary structure setback still a violation?
That is a violation. What has been canceled is excessive dwellings.
Okay, tell us about the primary structure setback, please.
So at the right side of the structure, there's a small overhang. There's the picture. Can you see the picture?
Yes.
Yeah, the GC is going to be getting that done along with the roof issues first part of next week. So
Okay.
all the interior work has been done, and that's pretty much all they have to get done is that setback and then the roof patching on the rear of the home.
Okay, ma'am, how much more time do you need to get this finished?
My crew would let, my GC would prefer 7 days. So if it could be 7 to 10 days, have a re-inspection and get that cleared.
Okay, members of the board, do you have any questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Sure, go ahead.
I move in case CE 200003286 that based on the evidence presented, I find that the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances with the staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 15 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $150 per day be assessed.
Seconded by Fitzpatrick.
Okay. Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries then. Next case, please.
Okay, turn to page 8 under contests. Number 16, case number 20010859. The owner is CA Properties Incorporated. And we did receive a contest of the finding of violation at the inspector's initial inspection on this. Also, I want to mention there is a typo on the agenda. The violation is item number Z200, improper use of zone, and that did comply on October 12, 2020. Good morning. Who is going to speak on this? Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And both of you come to the microphone and state your name and address.
Ron Anderson, 2004 Clement Road, Lutz, Florida, 33549.
Douglas Denning, I'm an attorney for the landowner. My address is office 21240 Grand View Boulevard, Land O'Lakes, Florida 346.
Thank you. Board members, did you receive a copy of the contest letter with your agenda package?
I did.
I did.
I did not.
This case was first heard at the Code Enforcement Board hearing on August 28, 2020. Ron Anderson appeared. The order was 7 days to come into compliance or a fine of $350 per day. An inspection was conducted on September 6, 2020 that found non-compliance, and the $350 a day commenced as ordered. We received a contest, and the fine to date is $19,250, and the lien has not been recorded pending the outcome of this hearing.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Code Officer Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. As stated before, a ruling was made on August 28th that the property come in compliance by September 5th. On September 6th, an inspection was done and it was in violation. Subsequent to that, there were several inspections, including September 18th, September 20th, October 2nd, October 5th, and October 10th. During the hearing of August 28th, the board gave suggestions as far as how the violation could be remedied. Events continued to be held throughout September, and the violations kept occurring. And then finally, it was found to be in compliance as of the 10/12 was the date. It was backdated as 10/12. As of 10/16, it was confirmed that the parking lot had been blocked off to restrict access for parking, which now the parcel across the street is continuing their events, and parking is occurring on the right of way in front of that vacant parcel.
Okay.
I just want to make a correction to the board. Our records do show this was complied on October 12th, 2020, and the total fine is $12,950.
Okay, you're saying it was complied on October the 12th?
Sir.
And the officer is saying it's still going on?
Complied now. The contest is of the initial finding of noncompliance
Okay.
of his first paycheck.
I thought I heard him say that they were parking on the right of way and still having their events, but okay. All right.
An adjacent or a companion case to this, the property owner owns both properties, and the violations were occurring as a result of events occurring on the property across the street, which is the Lutz Market, or County Line Produce.
Okay. And this was filed in time?
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Who's next?
Yes, I'd just like to say my clients entered into a lease with people who were supposed to be selling vegetables at a vegetable stand. This is the adjoining parcel, but it's not the one that's involved in this case. They were never supposed to hold events. It's very clear from the lease, they're just supposed to be selling veggies from a veggie stand. For parking on that other parcel, there's a good 30 spots there. They have more than enough parking for this veggie stand. And they took it upon themselves to start running these events. My client was unaware until code enforcement told them. We immediately sent a cease and desist order, and they've continued to have these events. And my client did in September, when they had the original meeting, which he attended, he did take too long to get these blocks in place, but in no way is this parcel at hand today part of the lease. He was never allowed to park there. It's not part of the lease. He was never, these were just trespassers. They were never given permission to park there. They're not paying to park there. And while it did take a while to get these blocks in place, this is thousands and thousands of pounds of block to move, to block these trespassers. And so now there is a conditional use application on the other parcel that's at hand here. It's another case that's ongoing. And this piece has been included in that application to draw the two together. What I would like the board to consider is there was a 60-day order put on the other case going on. The two need to be put together. And so if the conditional use is allowed, then they can do the event safely. But if not, the attorney representing the tenant and I have already agreed that if the county does not agree to these events being held, then they will vacate. We won't go after them for the remainder of the lease, and we'll just have to move on. If the county would allow these events to go on, they would like to stay, we would have them stay as long as it can be done safely.
Okay, were these brought up that they were just trespassing in the original board hearing? Because I don't remember that.
It is not part of the lease. I mean, if I have a lease with me, you can analyze it. It is only for the other parcel. It's a veggie stand with about 24 spots on it.
Was that lease presented?
Is completely separate and was not subject to the lease at all. They just started parking there, just like he's continued to have events and they're parking somewhere else. So you know, it's hard. How do you stop someone from parking somewhere when you have an open lease? It's very difficult.
In the original
Picture that we
case,
have here of what was done to stop the parking. This is really the only way we can do it.
in the original case, did you bring up the fact that you had a lease and that that piece of property was not included in the lease?
I can't say.
Yes, sir. I think I did mention that this parcel was the parcel across the street. My dad owns both pieces of property, but this piece was not leased to them. They had no right to park on there. I didn't tell them they could use the parcel for anything. I mow and roll hay on that parcel, and really they're messing me up, you know, parking on it. They didn't have permission. Originally wasn't going to have to put these blocks up, you know, because they were supposed to apply for the conditional use permit if they wanted to continue to stay there. I told them they could stay there if they got the proper permits from the county. If they wanted to park on the parcel or have their customers park on the parcel, they had to have the permits. They didn't have the permits, they were not allowed to park. Bottom line, don't break no laws. And the end result is ended up, they parked on there. And repeatedly, I asked him to stop, and he would not stop the people from parking on there. Needless to say, me and the tenant are not on the best of terms because he's constantly violating the rules. So what I did was I had these big, heavy, they're like 2,000 pounds a piece, these concrete blocks put in there to completely block anyone from being able to drive on the piece of property, period. And of course, at the same time, they're supposed to be applying for the conditional use permit. His attorney was Gilbert, I think, on the 853 case. And Gilbert has indicated to me that she's applied for the conditional use permit, and both parcels on both sides of the street are on the application for the conditional use permit. But anyway, that's the result. And this parcel here, if it would have had the same timeline of 60 days as compared to the other parcel across the street, we wouldn't be here today, I don't think. So if we could just amend the first ruling to where 859 would have the same 60 days as 853, we could all just go home.
Okay, why would a person have to go get a conditional use permit for a piece of property that they were not able to lease? Why would they need a permit to trespass, as you're saying? I don't understand.
We've allowed them, there's violations on from the veggie stand from the county's perspective. Their attorney has filed a conditional use, and if they can get a conditional use permit from the county to make it legitimate, we would allow them to park there. We have no problem adding it as long as it's legitimate and the county allows it. But in the original lease, that parcel is not included. I have a copy of it. I certainly can give it to the board. And they just started using it. And we have a cease and desist that was sent back in June to stop them. We've had numerous discussions with them to stop it, and they've continued to do it. Since they brought an attorney in discussions with them, we allowed them to put that parcel on the conditional use permit. As long as the county will allow it, they can park there. We're not using it for anything in particular, but it's not part of the original lease, and we would allow them to use it if the county allows them to use it.
Okay, members of the board, questions? Anybody has any questions? Okay. We need a motion. You can pick, or I can. Ms. Wright, you get to make a motion.
All right, okay. Would it be ordered to stay in compliance, or?
No, ma'am, this is just
This is a contest.
Okay.
This is a
so-
contest of the inspector's finding of noncompliance on a case that has already been adjudicated. So the order would be regarding whether to uphold or deny the contest.
Is there verbiage for that in the packet is what I'm getting at. No, okay. I'm not sure. Can we deliberate? What do you guys think?
If it pleases the board, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Yeah, that would be fine. If
The
you,
intent of
Yeah, because
allowing
I'm not sure.
the 60 days on the companion case dealt more with the fact that these people were operating what amounted to a grocery store as opposed to a produce stand. So the board allowed them time to either close the stand down and all that entails, or to seek approval for it. So the event part of it was more of a peripheral issue. So that's why I believe that the board granted 60 days for that as opposed to 7 days for the other.
okay.
Okay.
All right, we understand.
I just checked the making a motion sheet that was given to the board members, and the contest motion is not included in that. So your motion would just be that you uphold the contest or you deny it. Deny it would mean that you agree with code enforcement that they were in violation. Upholding it would be agreeing with the parties.
I'm prepared to make a motion.
Yeah, Mr. Fitzpatrick, go ahead and make the motion.
Sure. You know, I am sympathetic to this landowner, but, you know, I think the correct standard to be addressed is, did we make the right decision on August 28, 2020? And although I am sympathetic, I do not hear anything that leads me to believe that we made the wrong decision on August 28, 2020. So therefore, my motion is to deny the contest.
Second by Lorenzen.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No one opposed. Motion carries. Ms. Wright, I wasn't picking on you. You're just first on my screen.
Yeah, it's okay. I was just confused because I was looking for it on the paper and I couldn't find anything.
Okay, no problem. All right, let's move on to the next case, please.
Next case is on page 9, number 17. This is a contest for case number CE 1900-7200. The owner is Louis T. Zarer, location 3019 Lithia Pinecrest Road, and Mr. Zarer is here. He did submit a contest actually some time ago, but a lot of hearings were canceled, and so this is just now coming to hearing. It was first heard on October 29, 2019, was given 7 days to comply. And the inspector's findings on November 6th showed that he was not in compliance and the fine of $200 per day commenced. And on January 9th, 2020, he was found to be in compliance at that time, and a fine of $12,800 has been assessed. The lien has not been recorded pending the outcome of this hearing. It has gone on so long. We did receive the contest in a timely manner. However, hearing after hearing was canceled and it could not be brought to a hearing. Good morning, sir. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name and address.
Louis Aurora, 2718 Avon River Drive, Valrico, Florida, 33516.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have the officer present?
Donald K. Bowling, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case was first initiated via complaint on 5/9/19 by another officer. I took over the case in June of 2019. A lot of the violations that were cited, I thought were either complied or not appropriate for the property. So I closed a lot of the violations with the exception of overgrowth and accumulations. I also extended the case an additional 30 days to give the respondent the opportunity to comply with those cases. You note that he was attempts were made to contact him by the previous officer on 5/13/2019 regarding this case. I subsequently re-inspected after the 30-day time period and found that the violations were not complied. I then referred it to the code board. Subsequently went to code board in October of 2019, at which time the respondent appeared for the hearing and stated that he was in compliance. That's why he was only given 7 days by the magistrate. I subsequently, after 8 days, re-inspected and found that the property was not in compliance, and that is when the fine started going. I believe it was 11/7/2019, code enforcement was notified by the respondent that he was in compliance. I subsequently called the respondent. After leaving a voicemail, he called back and we set a date for the next day for an inspection. I met with him and the property was not in compliance, and I pointed out what the various things he needed to do to bring it in compliance. He advised me that he would do so ASAP. In fact, he was going to take care of it that day. At the end of that day, at 3 o'clock the same day, I re-inspected and found that he had in fact complied the property, and that is when the fine stopped. That is the best I can tell you. There is some confusion at the first contest hearing. He did. I don't think he left saying like, I'm leaving and going away. I think he got some bad information that he should go to the lien department to negotiate a smaller fine, and so he left. That's all the information I have.
Okay. Sir?
He's not in compliance now. Those are pictures from yesterday. He's got overgrowth and accumulations there.
You're only speaking to the inspection and the status of the property. If it is out of compliance, again, that would be a new case.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. We have somebody gonna
Absolutely
testify?
correct. I thought I was in compliance when I came to court. I actually brought pictures that day, which I have here with me. So I was told to give an officer a call, have him come check the property. I did make that call. He did go out to the property, but I was never notified that it wasn't in compliance. I thought it was, but we're talking about trimming trees, trimming around these trees that I had no clue. I mean, I had the whole property cleaned up. So I didn't know until I got a fine. That's when I called him back. I went out there and met him. He showed me what was out of compliance, because to me, it looked like it was completely, very, very clean. And I complied that same day and got it done. In the meantime, I just did not get any kind of notice that it wasn't in compliance. So I thought it was completely done until I got a $12,000 fine.
May I ask a question?
Certainly.
Sir, I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. So the October 29th, 2019 hearing, were you present before us?
And at that point, I thought I was in compliance and had the pictures. I was told to call the officer to have him come out and check the location. I did that, but after that, I don't know what happened. I never got any kind of communication that it was not, in fact, in compliance. I thought it was.
Okay. Code enforcement, do we have any record that that's the case, that he did call soon after to have it inspected?
I'm sorry, sir?
Do we have any records that show that soon after the hearing on October 29th, 2019, the landowner called to have his property re-inspected?
Only call that I am aware of is on 11/7/2019, and that was to code enforcement, not to me, to a code enforcement supervisor.
I actually made a call to Officer Bowling directly after that because I thought I was in compliance to have him come out and check it. I'm assuming that's how he found that
Mr. Zaror, when did you make that call?
Right after court. I mean, I thought it was in compliance that day, so I made it that day. Actually, the officer testified in the beginning of this trial that it was done within 7 days, and he went out on day 8. I'm not sure if you guys missed that. Check in when he found out it was not in compliance.
So then there was an inspection on November 6th, found not to be in compliance. The $200 a day started to run, and then subsequently there was another inspection on January 9th, found to be in compliance. So I guess the $200 a day ticking every day came to 12,800, and then ultimately there was this contest receipt. I see that you did file the contest on November 26th.
I thought I was on compliance, otherwise I would have never not touched it. So I let it go. I never got a letter, I never got a phone call that it was not in fact in compliance. However, when I did receive the fine in November, that's when I made the call immediately, and I set up an appointment with Mr. Bowling to go out there, and that's where he showed me, the little bits of trimming that needed to be finished. We were talking about, in the beginning of this, accumulations, overgrowth, nuisance conditions, unsecure structure, inoperable vehicles, and we're talking about now trees.
Mr. Bowling, you've heard the landowner testify that there was some miscommunication. Do you agree that there was miscommunication, or do you have no knowledge of such?
Do I agree with that the case was complied immediately after prior to the hearing? Is no, because I actually made a PowerPoint presentation within a few days of that hearing, which can probably be brought up and will look very similar to the PowerPoint presentation you're privy to now that I made yesterday. The case wasn't complied. I did it within the 7 days when it was scheduled, and there was accumulations
I'm not contesting
and
that.
Overgrowth throughout.
I'm contesting that I didn't get any response, any letter, any phone call, anything to fix it until I got a fine. And then when I got the fine, it was that afternoon it was done.
Okay, for staff, it says that if the inspector goes out and finds it is not in compliance, then you'll receive a notice by mail. Do we have any proof that he was notified by mail?
He was notified, and that his response to that notification was the contest letter.
Okay, thank you.
I'm prepared to make a motion.
As long as there's no other discussions.
Question. So he was notified once like the $200 had added up to 12,000, but didn't the original out of compliance happen on like November, in the beginning of November, and this is the beginning of October?
Yes, and then I went to court with my pictures thinking it was in compliance. I was told to call the officer to have it re-inspected, and I did that. But after that re-inspection, I never got a call back whether it was a good or not a good. So I assumed it was good.
Okay, just to clarify, this did go to hearing on October 29, and actually it was the East Side Magistrate hearing, 7 days and 200 per day, and the inspection was conducted on November 6th, which was the day after that final 7th day. We did send the contest letter to the owner when we received the affidavit of noncompliance from the inspector and sent that out, and he did send the contest on time, and I failed to read this earlier, but his contest was originally scheduled to be heard on January 14, 2020. He did appear at that hearing. However, he was advised by staff that his case was complied and he didn't need to be there. And so he left, but it is required that he be there for a contest. And that's why we rescheduled it, and then hearing after hearing was canceled. That's why it has taken so long to get it in front of you.
Additionally, when he sent the contest letter in November, I did go out on November 26, 2019 to re-inspect the property. in response, and it was still not in compliance. And I also took photographs of the property at that time, and it will be in the case file with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement if anybody wants to look at it.
He's correct, but from my standpoint, I did not know it was out of compliance. I didn't think a small ring of grass around a tree would cause that. So that's why I scheduled a meeting for him to actually show me what was out of compliance.
Okay, Ms. Meyer, you said that he did show up for a contest hearing, but was told he didn't need to be there?
Yes, someone saw that his case was complied and told him he did not need to be there because he was complied. The contest hearing requires the attendance of the property owner, and so we had to go ahead and reschedule it.
But he was there.
That
The
he
staff
was
did
told
say.
to leave.
Okay.
Also, when I saw him leave, I texted him and told him to come back. That he needed, if he didn't, that he needed to reschedule another hearing.
All right, back to the board. Any questions from the board? Who's prepared to make a motion?
I have a question. The fines have stopped running as of the date the contest was received on 11/26. Nothing has happened from a penalty standpoint since that time, either through January 14th or after that.
The fine stopped running on 1/8/2020 when I re-inspected a second time for that day. The first time I met with him, pointed out the violations. He immediately had his son, I think, take care of the violations, and I went back at 3 p.m. just prior to getting off to do a re-inspection, not on by his request, but on my own volition, and found that it was in compliance and closed the case.
Request. I made sure to have it done that day and to make a phone call. I don't like to leave things kind of hanging like that.
Okay, board members, anybody else have a question? Any questions? Okay. Just for discussion, in my opinion, I believe the gentleman tried to do whatever he could do. Okay. I don't know who told him he could leave. This could have been settled in January one way or the other. But it's up to the board. So if somebody would like to make a motion, I'll entertain it. Okay, Mr. Lorenzen, you happen to be at the top corner of my screen.
Rock, paper, scissors. I move in KC 19007200 that based on the evidence presented and the testimony of the owner that this contest be approved and that we drop the case.
I second that. Right.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Sir, your case is dismissed. Your contest is upheld. Next case.
Next case is number 18, case number CE 19015071, under contest. The owner is Frank Heinlein and Angela Heinlein, location 8117 East 19th Avenue. And we did receive a contest from Mr. Heinlein. And it's similar to the other situation where it has come into compliance after the finding of non-compliance. Raise your right hand. Please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
And state your name and address.
Frank Heinlein, 8117 East 19th Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33619.
Thank you. And Officer Paul Rowan, I believe is...
Good morning. Paul Rowan with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The case was adjudicated on December 20th of 2019 with a 90-day recheck and a $200 per day fine. On that date of March 20th, 2020, Supervisor Porter went to the property and did the adjudication for me for some reason. I was either tied up on another case or was out that day. And she wrote in her notes that she found no change. She responded to the address for the reinspection for the adjudication, and upon arrival, I noted all conditions remain the same. The case remains non-complied. I went back out after hearing from the property owner on April 8th of 2020 and found that the violations were complied. That's all I have.
Okay. Who's next?
Officer Rowan, is your graphic there incorrect? You said that you inspected on April 8th, but your graphic shows that you inspected on April 20th. Is it the 8th or is it the 20th?
1 second. Yeah, that's a typo in the graphic. I apologize. It is April 8th. I'm looking at my notes in the case.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. We have somebody to testify?
Okay. Yeah, I did everything they asked me to do. I even had pictures on my phone that I took in December showing that 90% of it was done. The only thing I had left to do by March 20th was remove the tarp off the roof, which I did by the March 20th. And I don't know why it was marked conditions remain the same. I've had neighbors help me out the last month, I think it was, to get it done. And then it's right here. I took off my phone. Doesn't show the date. I can show you on my phone, but this is what it looks like on March 14th.
He's going to have to move that down. I can't see it. Okay. Is there a date on that picture?
I didn't show up on the picture. I couldn't bring the date up on my phone.
All right. Members of the board. Questions?
What is the total amount of the fine at this point?
5.
This fine is actually $3,800, and that's the total because it is in compliance.
Okay, so where we're at is he's saying it was in compliance. The code officer is saying it was not. Would like to make a motion.
I'd be happy to make a
Question,
motion.
please.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Did they take pictures when they went out to re-inspect?
No, they're
So
not.
the officer who submitted the affidavit is no longer with the county. That was Officer Moselle Porter, who did that initial post-hearing inspection.
The owner, he has a photo. The photo printed out isn't timestamped, but that's showing the one on his phone. It should have a time, correct?
That's why I showed it. It said December 14th on the photo.
Okay.
Did the Mr. Heinlein, did you, I noticed that you were given 90 days to come into compliance. Did you make any effort during those 90 days to get code enforcement back out there so that you could confirm that you were in compliance?
I was doing everything I could because I was the only one doing it by myself. I had no help from nobody.
Did you make any calls to code?
The due date was March 20th, and I didn't get a chance to call Mr. Rowlands. I apologize for that. But when I got the notice that the fines were up to $3,500, that's when I called downtown and to do this compliance. And the lady I talked to, I can't remember her name. She even looked it up, said there was the lady that come out and inspected it did not upload no pictures or nothing. And I had that picture from December showing that 90% of it was done. All I had left to do by March was get rid of the tarp, which what I did do.
Okay, do we have any other questions from the board? Okay. I'm gonna mess up your name, Mr. Eubanky? Mark.
Sir, Mark is good. That's fine.
All right.
I will make a motion in case number CE 190-15071, based upon the evidence provided today, to uphold the owner's dispute and dismiss the fine.
I second that.
We have a
discussion.
Go ahead.
Sure.
I have concerns about upholding this contest. The pictures that the homeowner showed were before the hearing date. They were on December 13th or 14th. The hearing was on 12/20. Based on the order of having 90 days and $200 per day, we at no time did the owner tell us that everything had been complied except for the roof. If he had, we wouldn't have given him a 90-day timeline in which to complete the information and complete the cleanup. So I don't feel like what we did on 12/20 deserves to be overturned.
And if I may add to that, I also have concerns, and the reason is my understanding is that the initial hearing, the burden of proof is on the county to prove the violation. But once that order is entered, it's always been my understanding that then the burden shifts to the owner to show compliance. And I just don't feel that there's been ample evidence here shown today that there was compliance. There were no phone calls made to code enforcement on March 20th. And based on those facts, I share Mr. Lorenzen's concern.
Anyone else on the board have anything they'd like to say?
Told that I had to do all that. I was just told to clean it up, and I didn't.
Sir, you're not on the board. We're in the middle of something. Okay, all those in favor? Now, let's do a roll call, please.
Can I, Anthony? Can I withdraw the motion and change the motion then?
You can withdraw your motion.
I would like to withdraw the motion to uphold the owner's dispute and deny their dispute and impose the $3,800 fine.
There would be no fine. Your motion would have to just state that that the contest is denied.
Okay. The motion is yes. My motion is to deny the contest in case number CE 190-5071.
Seconded by Patrick. I second.
All right. Okay. We won't need a roll call. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I oppose.
I oppose.
Okay. We have two that oppose. Let's do a roll call.
Bordenaro?
4.
Boyd?
Oppose.
DeRazio? I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yes. DeRazio, yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Lorenzen?
Yes.
Urbaniak?
Yes.
Wright?
Oppose.
Motion carries 5-2. Members Boyd and Wright voted no.
Thank you, sir. Next case, please.
Okay, I don't believe we have anyone else in the audience, so we will return back to the beginning of the agenda. And Mr. Chair, would you like to give the instructions on when nobody's here?
There's no one present in the audience for the remaining cases on the agenda. The board will now review the case materials previously provided by county staff. And if the board finds that the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Code or ordinances, as listed in staff's presentation, the board ruling in each case will be based on the evidence presented, on the gravity of the violation, action taken by the violator, violator's history, to determine the amount of the fine that will be assessed. And what we will be doing we're going to start with, we're going to play rock, paper, scissors. Mr. Lorenzen, Miss Boyd, and we'll have Miss Wright. Then we'll have Mr. Eubanky, but we'll call him Mark because I can't say his name. Then Mr. Fitzpatrick, and then Miss D'Orazio. And then we will go back to Mr. Lorenzen. And we're ready.
Put together a really nice order there, Mr. Chair. Can you give us some kind of nod or wink or tell us who's up each time so we make sure the rotation stays true?
I just told you, but yes.
I didn't write them down.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, I will tell you.
I mean, I'm first, so I'm good, but other people might not know when it's their turn. I'm just saying.
You got it. We're ready, Miss Meyer.
Turn to page 2, number 3, case number 2000-5009. The violator is New Residential Mortgage LLC, location 1027 Ball Harbor Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Officer?
Ready for me to go? Good morning, Jim Carr, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I first inspected this property on April 9th, 2020. It's a vacant foreclosure property. It is one violation under Ordinance 0959, but it has 4 conditions on it. So we only really need one order, not a 2-part order. The violations that are remaining on this property is accumulations of junk, trash, and debris, extreme overgrowth conditions in the backyard, an unsecured pool, which has been abated by the county, and an unsanitary pool. My final inspection was yesterday, and the photographs were taken on October 13th. This property is located within a 1-mile radius of several school bus stops also.
No change to the property since April?
Could you repeat that, sir?
No change to the property since April?
Excuse me?
It's still the same.
Okay. I grant 21 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $400 per day be assessed.
Do we have a second? Somebody want to second the motion?
Clarification, the pool was abated, is that correct? It's no longer a risk?
The pool is temporarily abated. It does not meet code. So a child cannot get in there. However, the pool is still unsanitary.
Fitzpatrick seconds the motion.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Opposed.
Who's opposed?
Denise, opposed.
Okay. So the motion carries. Next case, please.
Next case is number 5, case number 2000-6943. The violator is Freedom Mortgage Corporation, location 217 South Valrico Road. We have service and no one is present.
Officer?
Jim Carr, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This property is vacant and in foreclosure. It is it's in violation of Hillsborough County Ordinance 0959, failure to maintain a foreclosure property, but it has 5 conditions on it: accumulations, overgrowth conditions, an unsecured structure, an unsecured pool, which both have been abated by myself and Code Officer Hoffman, and an unsanitary pool. Inspection was yesterday, and the photographs were taken on October 13th. This property is in a 1-mile radius of a elementary school and several school bus stops.
Okay. Board members, any questions? Okay, Ms. Boyd, you're up.
Ms. Boyd, I believe you need to unmute.
Yep, sorry. I grant 3 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not met, $500 a day.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next case, please.
Page 4, number 10, case number CE 2000-5805. The owner is Robert Scott Merkel, location 10603 Main Street. We have service and no one is present.
Okay.
So Paul Rowan, who is attending virtually.
Good morning, Paul Rowan with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case began on April 23rd of this year. The property is a half-acre lot on Main Street in Tenotasasa, which is zoned commercial neighborhood. The property is, taxes are paid, and it is not in foreclosure. The owner also has no previous history with the department. What happened was this property owner bought this property for the purposes you're seeing going on here: storage containers, putting his work vehicles there. His employees were coming there. Commercial neighborhood, the definition of commercial neighborhood does not support that. We cited the property for the violation of just and improper use of the zone. I've been working with the property owner. He tried to get a rezoning of the property, but it was denied by Development Services, and he has taken steps to move everything off the property. I made a drive-by site inspection approximately a week ago, and everything except for the inoperable car and the cargo container were removed. And he told me on the phone that it would have been removed by last Tuesday. I have not had a chance to go back by the property since then. I would just ask for a very short period of time to make a reinspection to make sure that he has come into compliance.
Okay, board members, any questions? Ms. Wright, you're up.
All right, I grant 7 days to come into compliance, and if compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $100 per day be assessed.
Fitzpatrick, second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Next case is on page 5, number 11, CE 2001-4892. In this case, complied October 21st, 2020. Page 6, number 13, CE 2000-4379. This case complied October 20th, 2020. Number 14, case number CE 2000-5470. The violator is Specialized Loan Servicing, LLC, location 5006 East Longboat Boulevard. We have service and no one is present.
Code Enforcement Officer Raquel Andahar. This property is in foreclosure. The bank has been cited as the violator. The property was first inspected April 20th of 2020. My last inspection was October 29th, 2020. It was cited for failure to maintain, requesting for the stagnant pool to be cleaned and maintained, unsecured pool, and overgrowth, and to repair the dilapidated dock. The overgrowth is being maintained. I have not made any contact with the bank. They have not contacted me. They have not emailed me or called me. But on my inspection on October 21st, while I was on the property, I met with a contractor who was there trying to get bids for the job, for the pool and for the dock. So I do believe that they have received our notice. We just have not made contact.
Okay, this is in a general neighborhood where anybody could walk back there and fall in the pool, correct?
Long on Hillsborough Avenue in that community around there.
Okay.
Well, and the pool, not only the pool, Anthony, but the dock, I mean, the waterfront too is that walkway is dilapidated too. You could easily fall into the river there.
That's true too.
Yeah. Right there. There's the photos right there.
Mark, you're up.
Yes. I grant 3 days.
I do.
Yeah, I grant 3 days to come into compliance, and if compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $500 a day be assessed.
I second that.
Do we have a second?
Yeah, I second that, right?
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
It's a real safety hazard.
Say that again, sir.
I said it's a real safety hazard on multiple levels.
Okay. Let's go ahead. Anybody, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Anybody oppose?
Nope.
Motion carries. 3 days, $500.
Next case is on page 7, number 15, CE 2000-5939, and this case was pulled for staff on October 15, 2020, and that concludes the agenda.
Okay. Any of the board members have anything they need to discuss? Okay, we're adjourned.